Hello there, everybody. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. I hope you are doing well. Starting out this video as well, thinking of all of the people impacted by Hurricane Helene, especially I have relatives in North Carolina, Georgia. We know Tennessee got hit really bad. I'm actually in Florida, but I'm on the eastern side of the state, which didn't get it as badly. But again, just keeping our prayers going around that. We know that there are still rescue efforts out there. There are still families who have not been able to communicate with their loved ones, even if they're safe, but the cell phone towers are down, especially in the Asheville region of in the mountains of North Carolina. So just wanted to start out by saying that just keeping people in our thoughts and prayers, even as the world is very busy. We're all very busy in our own lives, handling our own issues, but just remembering there are people out there today who are really struggling and afraid and trying to survive. All right. So giving gratitude for all that I have in this moment, all the comforts, etc. that I have. Bad hair day notwithstanding, right? I was like, look, I was going to get the curling iron out, and I was like, let me just get some lipstick and keep going. I got stuff to do today. So pardon me for that. I want to talk to you all today about tomorrow's. I'm taping this early Monday morning, the 30th. Tomorrow is the big day between Walz and Vance, JD Vance. Of course, we would all love to see those of us who are living in the light. Let me put it that way. We'd love to see Tim Walz, be able to pull it out the way that Kamala Harris did when she debated Donald Trump a few weeks ago. But that aside, we're hearing stories already. We know that he's been prepped by Pete Buttigieg, who, can't ask for better. I'm thinking, I heard that, what's his name? Emmer, Republican out of Minnesota, has been working closely with JD Vance. I guess because Minnesota, whatever this Emmer guy can dredge up or think of that would be harmful to Tim Walz's image. We already know the playbook, as we've started to call it. We know the playbook, and it's just a matter of how do we stay, one step ahead. But I do want to take a look at that and just get an idea to see if there's going to be maybe anything really unexpected. We know that all of this is occurring, new moon, solar eclipse in Libra, right? So, of all things, the moon is heightened. We've got this PT5 asteroid that started on the 29th, has been drawn apparently into the Earth's orbit. And so they're treating it as a mini moon. It started on the 29th, and it will be with us through the election it doesn't leave until November 25th. So it will be, these two moons, double moons. Think about, heightened emotions, things that come to light, right? Hidden things that come to light very often when we're dealing with issues around the moon. So very, very interesting times that we're headed in. And I have a feeling I'm going to do more around that, a reading specifically on how this double moon is going to possibly impact November 5, the elections, and of course the weeks leading up to it. All right, you all. So let's take a look. Spirit, Tim Walz and JD Vance. I'm going to do two piles in front of me, one for Walz and one for Vance. How are they going to perform at the debate tomorrow? We understand that the debate format is going to be open mic'd, although the moderators will have, they'll have the power to be able to turn the mics off if things get too wild. Yeah, I can already, JD Vance is already the man says ridiculous things, and then doubles down on the ridiculous things, hoping that Tim Walz can, not let it tip over into temper. All right, we have the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. How appropriate is that? And Judgment. I can't ignore that because it's a major arcana. So we have at the bottom of the deck, after I shuffled you all, I got Judgment and the Two of Wands. Judgment is ruled by Pluto, transformational. everyone agrees, pretty much for the most part, this debate is not about turning out more votes or swaying people's votes, but it is crucial in terms of, on the one hand, J.D. Vance wants to prove to the American public why he deserves to be in the arena, period, in at this moment in time. And also, remember, they recruited him because they were planning with Project 2025, etc. They were grooming him to be the voice of MAGA 2.0 or post-MAGA conservatism, right? So he's acutely aware of that. And then we also have Tim Walz, who moved so many, hearts around the country once he started appearing with Kamala Harris on the campaign trail. He and his wife, his family, will never forget that at the National DNC. So this is a transformational moment for both of them, and the Two of Wands is I think is representing the two of them. Let's see. All right. So Tim Walz, Ace of Pentacles. He's going to be ready. All right now. All right. Very, very, very focused. Game time, right? Coach Walz. Game time for him. He understands what's at stake. He's going to be extremely focused. Nerves, of course. We saw nerves on Kamala Harris, with Kamala Harris when she started, and then she settled down and she got to work, right? But we remember how nervous she was at first. We have Five of Cups coming out, the first card for J.D. Vance. He's struggling emotionally, but he's also going to, this feels like Spirit is saying that's going to be a part of his planning, is to upset Tim Walz emotionally, to upset the apple cart emotionally, to ping emotions in all the wrong places and all the wrong directions. Tim Walz, Two of Swords. He is ready to do battle. And Five of Wands. Interesting how, now if you read tarot, you know that fives tend to be cards of struggle. Whatever suit they come in, they tend to be cards of struggle. There's some wonky kind of energy going on. 2 5s back to back as it concerns J.D. Vance. I'm not mad at it. I'm just pointing it out, right? But we have Five of Wands. So that's, he's ready to do battle. Five of Wands is a card of doing battle, but it is also doing battle at cross purposes. So this is where he's not unified with Donald Trump. We already know that. The two of them, after everything came out, can't believe it didn't come out during the vetting process. All the horrible things that he said about Donald Trump, right? During his 2016 and even 2020 run to some extent. So there's a lot of conflict around J.D. Vance, not only within himself, but within his own party. There are people within the Republican Party and even the MAGA faction of the Republican Party, because we know that's a whole other animal, who are not happy with him at all. And I told you about that Five of Cups. So yeah, struggle on top of struggle with him. Now, we've got the Two of Swords that came with that Ace of Pentacles for Tim Walz. Two of Swords is a card of decision making. Notice the blindfold. Very often you'll see blindfolds on the person in the Two of Wands, because it's almost like you just got to kind of decide. You're at a crossroads and you're trying to decide, should I go with this or should I go with that? I feel like we're going to see moments where visibly perhaps and verbally we're going to see Tim Walz have to sort of regather himself, where he may be tempted to speak boom off the cuff, and then he remembers how he has been prepared for the debate. He'll have to, so we may see a little bit of a internal struggle with him in that regard, but I tend to think I'm going to go a little bit further. I think he'll pull it out. We'll see him going Page of Swords, yes, for Tim Walz. Page of Swords. So yes, this is how he's going to communicate. And this is the newness of this situation for him. He's never been on this kind of stage before. He's debated in the past. He is an experienced politician. But this level is a whole different game. And so he's going to have to play by a whole different set of rules during this debate. And we're going to see him kind of reset. Again, he uses a lot of athletic parlance in his speeches. We're going to see him drawing up new plays, sort of on the spur of the moment. JD Vance. Seven of Swords, lies upon lies upon lies upon lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. Right? More of the same. More of the same. And okay, so I want to take it to the next level. How will that's how they're performing. What will be the outcome? I want to pick up and come fresh. Spirit, what will be the outcome of the debate tomorrow between them? How will the respective camps, Democrats and Republicans and the MAGA faction, how will people at large feel coming out of that debate tomorrow? How will people feel about their performance? How will it look? How will it come away? Will there be new light shed on things, or is it going to be status quo? What can we expect? How does this end up? How does this wind up? How does this wind up? Page of Pentacles. No new progress. No, and the Tower. Ooh, let's dig on that a little bit and see what's happening with that. The Tower. And Queen of Swords, that's Kamala Harris. This feels like, is this the destruction of Vance? Like, is that gonna, ooh, wait. Are people gonna come away from it feeling like he got dogged? And I pulled a dog. Knight of Wands. Yeah. Not dog like he's got to, actually, like he's absolutely going to get destroyed by Walz. Vance is not going to, but there's something here where there's no turning back. That from the perspective of the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz campaign, there's no turning back. They will leave it, again, another athletic reference. Tim Walz is gonna leave it all on the field. He's going for it. He will not back down. And there is some level of breakthrough. King of Pentacles comes. I think there will be a renewed respect for Tim Walz. It's almost as if Spirit is saying with this King of Pentacles, because this is stability, this is experience gain, this is knowing how to run things, how to build things, how to give structure to things and make it last. And the fact that it's coming with a card that I very often pull for her, Queen of Swords, because she's a Libra, and that Tower, this feels like a real breakthrough, like a no turning back, done. Mars energy, very aggressive, but aggressive in terms of protecting her, protecting the campaign, protecting the messaging of the campaign, and being a good steward and caretaker of the messaging of the Harris-Walz campaign. That's how this King of Pentacles is feeling. So he's going to do his job. I want to go to Oracle cards and just pull a couple and see what we get there. But he's going to do his job. We're going to see him, well, he may have, I'm definitely getting, he's going to have a couple of moments where he has to reset and recalibrate. JD Vance may try and throw him off balance. Of course, that's the name of the game. JD Vance, meanwhile, he's getting it internally, externally, within his own party, etc. Like this man is not well liked, period. He's useful in some camps, or it was thought that he was going to be useful, especially among the Project 2025 folk. There were big plans for him, and it's just all backfired. So the debate is not going to change that. All right, let's see what we get from this Oracle deck. Spirit, the outcome of the debate between Tim Walz and JD Vance. What can we expect? The outcome of the debate. illusion, ancestors, juggling, grounded. You know, I feel like we're going to hear more from, remember J.D. Vance with that hillbilly elegy? We're going to hear more of him trying to portray himself. J.D. Vance portray himself as that normal, working class guy, came up by the bootstraps, blah, blah, blah. The illusions that he sold. And I feel like that's why the ancestor card has come, because he loves to talk about his, what was it, mama or mima or something. But it's where he's going to try and reset and reestablish the narrative that he tried to use when he was, first coming on the scene, with regard to auditioning as Trump's VP pick. So he's going to try and do a little reset with that, remembering that. But there's that juggling act, and then we get grounded, because he needs to be grounded instead of trying to juggle so many things, being accused at this point of being just downright two-faced. One minute you hated Trump, now you love him. You want to be his number 2 guy. 1 minute you were all about Ohioans, next minute you are trying to single-handedly destroy the state practically with all of the the racism and the racist diatribe and vitriol towards Haitians, etc. So there's all of that, but there's a need to get it grounded. Spirit is saying it will get grounded. It's going to be brought to light. It's going to be brought down to earth. All of these illusions, you can't have illusions and groundedness in the same space. So those rose-colored glasses are going to get ripped off of J.D. Vance. I want to see more about Tim Walz, Spirit. Please show me Tim Walz after the debate. After the debate, Tim Walz. The door. He's ready to go for it through the door. The doors of the White House, the doors of DC in general, the doors being ready for him. Establishment, the truth. I feel like a moment of silence, right? The truth. Because that is, even if he flubs a little bit, or even if he has to reset and his nerves show, he is coming from a place of genuineness. And I think in that regard, remember Kamala Harris had some great choices, for Josh Shapiro, Bashir, etc. Buttigieg was a part of the talk for a long time. Roy Cooper, who thank God excused himself from the equation, because we see what's happening in North Carolina. Sorry he had to do it, but glad he did. But there's such an earnestness about Tim Walz, and that had a lot to do. Kamala Harris has since said subsequently that had a lot to do. She really relied on her gut to choose him, and the fact that he is a truth teller, that he comes across as really, really earnest, and that he makes us feel solid, us, the American public, and even the global stage, because this is not just about America. This is about the role that Harris-Walz administration would play, on a global stage. So yeah, doors open. I feel like I want one more for Tim Walz. How will he feel after the debate, Spirit? How will it come across? And home. Look at that. Thick old deck. All kind of cards could have come out. And home. Comfort, truth, solid, stable. Remember, he also talking about home and a door. Remember, he also got that King of Pentacles energy around him. He is just such a solid guy, solidly American, solidly representing American values, and being able to reach across a broad spectrum of people and voters, across race, across class, across geographical regions. Yeah, he's gonna feel very much like he did his best. And he came away being authentic and true to himself and to the campaign, and to his wife, his family, and he's ready to go. And the idea that I got stuck in loyalty, but I think that's not bad in this case. It's an interesting depiction there. But I think what it is sticking to his principles and being loyal. That's what this is saying. He will come away from this, and we will come away from this, the American public and international community that tunes in, feeling like he stuck to his principles. He was loyal to the vision. He, unlike J.D. Vance, who has, swayed and turned with the wind. And I think that contrast between the two is what people are going to come away truly, truly having witnessed and have a strong sense of that. So, again, not moving the needle, but J.D. Vance looks like he's going to continue to suffer in the energy that he himself has helped create. The chaotic energy, the conflict within as well as without. I could do a whole reading on him. Maybe one day I will, maybe if I want to get in the energy that deep. But there's a whole psychological / spiritual bent to this man that has caused him to continually morph into the next part of who he thought he was going to need to be, or who he thinks he needs to be in order to succeed, succeed at all costs, attain power at all costs. And there is this part of him that has, and I'm doing it anyway, thank you, Spirit, and bear with me, it's channeling, I get it out, that has a lot to do with this teeter-totter that he's done with Donald Trump, because the idea that Donald Trump was born with that silver spoon, and J.D. Vance is so diametrically opposite of that burns him a little bit, because there is a part of him that feels superior to Donald Trump. He feels intellectually superior. He feels morally superior. He's younger, of course, 40. So he just sees him. He almost some of this internal conflict that then manifests outwardly with him is his own burning rage, controlled rage at what he sees as how unfair it is that someone like a Donald Trump, unqualified, incapable, that he would have to come up behind him, clean up his mess, and hopefully his plan and those behind him, and then replace Donald Trump. That's the deal with him. On the other hand, we got a very different energy with Tim Walz, which is, he's that guy. He's loyal. He has faults, don't we all? But he's honest about that. And he will represent that to the American public, and I think that is the whole joy. And when he was the first one, I think, to coin that term, weird, that the MAGA faction was just weird, and everybody went, exactly, well, that's a great term to use, and everybody started coalescing around weirdness. That's who he is, and he's at peace with that. That's the door. That's the home. That's the loyalty. The dog. That's the stability. Stuck meaning sticking to who he is. He's not. There's no guesswork where he's concerned. So that's what I got. Can't wait to see come out on the other end of the debate and see how it all flowed, and if in fact we were tuned in today. I wish you all the best. Quick note before I close out. I did have my first tarot workshop, tarot tips workshop this past Saturday. Great turnout, great interaction, great people. It was, we didn't cover as much ground as we wanted because everybody was really involved in it, and which was great. So I'm doing a part 2. And I will put a link to it. Even if you didn't join part 1, part 2 is going to involve a breakdown of the minor arcana and the court cards. So regardless of where you are, in your journey, in your tarot journey, if you want to learn more about how to work with the minors. The minors, for some people, the majors are easier to work with because they're more popular in archetypes and discussions around them. And then you got to fold in the minor arcana into your readings and figure out, that can be a little tougher. So it might be something you're interested in. Again, I'll put the link down below, and I'll check in with you all in a couple of days. All right. Have a good one. Bye.